Hello, my dear friend. So, this is what we saw in the previous session. So, remember four methods. I just want you to remind once again. So, I am sitting here and keeping this slide. Now, we are going into today's this session's lesson. That is, let us do some problems. So, let us do some problems and find out how do we solve the questions. The first question is in front of you, and you will see how we will solve this question. Vikas spends 15% of his monthly salary on house rent, 20% on food, 10% on petrol, and 15% on education, and 28% on household expenses. Okay, he saves the remaining amount of rupees 4,800. What is his monthly salary? So this is what we are going to solve. So I told this we are going to solve with what? We are going to solve this with equating percentage method. And here what we need to do? We have to first find out what is 100%. What is the value on which we have calculated all these percentages? That is what is needed. It need not be in the form of actual value, but we need what is which value we are going to consider as 100%. So that is salary. Okay. Now what they are saying, Vikas spends 15% of his monthly salary on house rent, 20% on food, 10% on petrol, 15% on education of his children, and 28% on household expenses. Now to solve this, we need to know one thing, that income is equal to what? Expenses plus savings in this case, right? So whatever expenses you do and whatever is remaining, that is equal to income. Income comes first and then we do the spending and then savings will be there, but that is fine. But if I add these two things, then they should be equal to income. So income we have considered as 100%. If we considered income or salary, we can say, so the salary is 100% now. So whatever is his expenditure percentage plus whatever is a savings percentage should be together to 100%, isn't it? So whatever money comes, that is 100%. Out of that he does some expenditure and whatever is remaining is his savings. So if I add these both, it should be equal to 100%. This is very common sense. All of you would know it, right? So what I am going to do, what is actual value given here? The second thing we need to find out is actual value. So actual value given here is 4,800. What it is? It is a savings. It is a savings. So we need to find out the equivalent percentage to savings so that we will be able to solve this question, right? So we need to find out the percentage of savings. But how do I find out? They are not given. They are given only the value, actual value, the savings amount they have given. So what I'll do is I'll take this information that is in front of me. Okay, 100%. Okay, so if I add expenses percentage plus savings percentage, it should be equal to 100%, which implies that 100% minus expenditure percentage is equal to savings percentage. Yes or no? So it is only we have sent this side and it has become minus, right? We know it. So what we'll do is we'll find out the expenditure percentage which is given here. So 15 plus 20 plus 10 plus 15 plus 28. How much it will be? 15, 35, 45, 55, 60, 60 plus 28 will be 88%. Right? So if expenses is 88%, then what will be savings percentage? Right? 100% minus 88% will be 12%. So that is what we are given here. The savings percentage is how much? Savings percentage is 12%. So if we understand this, we'll be able to solve. We know what we are going to solve with the method that I had explained, equating percentage. So once we know the actual value and we know the percentage value of that actual value, then we are going to divide actual value by percentage value into required percentage value, so that we'll get the answer. So this what we are going to now do now is 4800 divided by 12, okay, into, we need to find out what is his monthly salary. Monthly salary means it is 100%, right? So we are going to multiply it with 100. So what I am going to do, 12 fours are 48 plus 2 zeros into 100 means another 2 zeros, right? 400 plus 2 zeros, right? So we'll get the answer as 40,000. So is that clear? Very, very simple question. We only added the percentages. This knowledge we should have, that expenses plus savings percentage will be equal to 100%. This we know. Then we'll be able to solve it. What we'll do is we'll find out the expenditure percentage which is given. We'll find out the expenditure percentage which is given in broken, like 15%, 20%, 10%, 15% and 28%. When we add all these things, we got the expenditure percentage as 88%. Then we found out with this information that 100% minus 88% is equal to 12%, which is savings percentage. So we equated 4800 is equal to 12%. So, and then we use this formula, which is actual value divided by percentage value into required percentage value, and we got the answer as 40,000, which is the right answer. So this is very, very simple question. So we are going to solve the next question and we'll learn a little bit more how do we solve the percentage question. Okay, is it difficult than this? We do not know. Let us see this question first. Okay, where is the pen? Okay, this is on this side. Rajani invests 7%, that is 2,170 rupees of her monthly salary in mutual funds. So Rajani, what she does, she invests 7%, which is equivalent to 2170 of her monthly salary in mutual funds. So 7% in mutual funds. Later, she invests 16% of her monthly salary in recurring deposits. So 16% where RD, recurring deposit. Also she invests 8% of her salary on NSCs. Okay, what is this NSCs? NSCs are National Savings Certificates. Okay, what is the total annual income invested by Rajani? Annual income. So that is what we need to be very, very careful. So now we'll go to the right hand side and try to find out what we have found out from this question. So 100% is what here? 100% is again salary, because she is saying 7% of her monthly salary. So this is your base. So whatever is base, that is your 100%. So 100% is her salary. Rajini's salary. Actual value there, what they have given, 2,170. This is the only numerical value or the rupee value that they have given, which is actual value, right? And they have given 7%, that is 2,170. Means what? These are equal. That is always equal. So equivalent percentage is 7%. So now we have to understand what is the monthly investment. INV means investment. How much is total investment in mutual funds and recurring deposits and NSCs together? So they have not asked anything else. We have to only add these percentages and we'll be able to find out. We have to find out the annual investment. So what is the monthly investment? First we'll try to find out how much is her total investment. Her total investment is 7% plus 16% plus 8%. These are the three things, right? This is in mutual fund MF, this is in RD, recurring deposits, and this is in NSCs. Whether you are able to see it or not, you can hear me, so I am not writing it. So what is it total? Total is 24 plus 7. 16 plus 8 is 24. 24 plus 7 is equal to 31. Isn't it? 31% is her monthly investment. What we need to find out is annual investment. So you can solve this in two ways. You can directly multiply this and find out the monthly annual investment percentage. 31 into 12 percentage. I am not going to multiply this. I am going to keep it like this only, so that we'll see whether we can solve it like this or we'll solve it the other way. We'll see. Okay. So this is what we need to find out in percentage terms. Actual terms we are not at term. So what I'll do, I will now find out monthly investment in rupee terms. How do I do? I know these are equal. So I am going to write the actual value 2170 actual value. Please listen to this carefully because I am going very slow. Divided by what? 7, which is percentage value. So I'll get what? So now we are going into little bit further. Like whenever we divide actual value divided by ratio value, we will get one ratio value. Likewise, whenever we divide actual value by percentage value, you will get one percentage value. What do you get? One percentage value where you can directly connect with the ratio now, and then whatever percentage you want, you can directly multiply. So this is one percentage value. One PV. Okay. So we'll try to find out one PV. 7 on the 7, 7 threes are 21, 7 ones are 7, and 0 310. Okay, now what we need to find out is this percentage, 31 into 12 percentage. So what I am going to do is 31 310 into 31 into 12 is what we need to find out to find the final answer. This 12 is because there are 12 months in a year, which I hope you know, right? Okay, fine. So when I see this one, what I should see is this is a square, and you have to write a 0 at the end. 31 into 31 is how much? 961. Yes or no? And then a 0. So this is directly here. If you know square, can you see? If you know square, you will be able to do it much faster. 9610 into 12 we have to do. So into 12 when we do, you will be able to solve this question. So into 12 what we'll do? We'll use our shortcut method. What? Multiply by the right number and add the right digit. So 2 into 0 is equal to 0, nothing to add. 2 into 1 is 2 and nothing to add. 2 into 6 is 12. 12 plus 1 is 13. So 1 will be carried. 12 is 9 is 108. 108 plus 6 is 114. 114 plus 1 is 115. 115320. Once you know the shortcuts, you will be able to do the calculations very fast, which you have seen right now. So this is your answer, 115320. So did you understand what I did? First I found out the 31 percentage, how much she invests monthly, and then I understood that I need to find out 31 into 12 percentage. So thereafter I took this formula, AV upon PV is equal to 1 PV. That is, actual value divided by percentage value is equal to 1 percentage value, and then I multiplied this with whatever percentage I need to find out, multiplied by required percentage value. I required 31 into 12 percentage value. I did not multiply it here itself because I knew that we are going to solve this with the square. So never ever multiply the numbers. You do not know when it will be easier to solve it like this only. So if it is required next time, we will do it. Whenever it is required, we will do it. But now it is much easier to do this way. Okay. Right. So next we will go to the next question number 3. Come on, please. Okay. Question number 3 here. So let us see this question again. Ishan spent rupees 35,645 on buying a bike, rupees 24,355 on buying a television, and the remaining 20% of the total amount he had as cash with him. What was the total amount? Okay, now just pause for a minute and then try to fill this. What fill? 100% is. Okay, and then actual value is equal to what rupees? Equivalent percentage is equal to what? And thereafter I will come in and then I will help you in solving this question. So if you can do these three first, 1, 2, 3. Which one? 1, 2, 3. Then I can do this question for you. Let us see if you can do it. So pause it, take 1 minute, 2 minutes, and then come back again. So I hope you have done it, and I am going to do it for you. 100% is what here? 100% is total amount. The total amount. Okay, this total amount that we are going to find out, total amount he had. Okay, whatever he is spending from, that is his total What is actual value? Actual value is the addition of these two, my dear friend. What has happened in this question is they have given the expenses in actual value terms, and the savings or remaining, now we can call it remaining amount in percentage value. So again we need to understand is total is equal to expenses plus remaining, right? So to find out the expenses, we need the expenses are not given in one place, they are given in two ways. So Ishan spent 35,645 to buy a bike and 24,355 to buy a television. So we'll try to add these things. Let us 35,645 and 24,355. When I see these numbers, I think this will add up to 1000, right? And this will 25 and this is 35, so this will become 60,000. Very simple to add them. So I added like this. This is another technique where if you see these kind of numbers, you should be able to do it faster. Instead of doing 30,000, 50,000, 35, 55,000, 59,000, that would have been a little bit slow. But when you see these numbers 645, 355, once you start playing with numbers will become your friends, and then you will be able to solve these questions like this, or maybe much better than me as well. So actual value is now what? Actual value is 60,000. What is the equivalent percentage? Now we need to find out percentage. What is remaining here? 20% is remaining. So total is 100%. Okay, remaining is 20%. So if I remove this remaining 20%, then expenses will be what? 80%. Okay, so this is 80%. Okay, equivalent percentage of this is 80% now. Now I am going to give you one more trick. So to give that trick, I have to remove something. So if you want to note down something, you can note down how did I do this. So I am going to remove this addition now. I'm going to remove this addition, and I'm going to show you one more method where we can solve this question very fast than using the equating method. We are going to use the equating method, but still we are going to understand one more way of solving this. Now what I know, I would have solved this like 60,000 divided by 80 into 100. So I would have done it directly, right? So 8, this 0 will go, this 0 will go. So what I am going to do is 8 4s are. So 2 4s are 8 and 2 5s are 10. I am going to do this directly if I want. Okay. So for that we need to understand some important thing. What is that important thing? Let me explain you. Okay. If what I said is if 80% of something you want to find out, if I want to find out 80% of x is equal to 60,000 is what they have given. Now try to understand this one properly. But I want to find out ex. How do I find out ex? Okay. Now what I'll do is this is 4 by 5 into x, isn't it? It is 4 by 5 into x is equal to 60,000. So if I want to find out x, what I'll do is 60,000 divided by what will become, this 4 will become divided by into 5. Okay. This 4 and 5 are what numbers, my dear friend? These are the numbers which are the converted fraction of 80%. So this you should be able to do directly. Instead of doing this method, whenever we find that we can convert this percentage into 4 by 5, okay, if I can convert it into 4 by 5, I should be able to do this. Okay, so what I will do is next time whenever this kind of question comes and this kind of percentage come, okay, instead of doing this, I will do this. What? 60,000 divided by 4 into 5, which will be very easy. We can see is 4 15s are 60 and 15,000 into 5 is equal to 75,000. Are you getting my point? So 4, if you divide, what will happen? 4 1s are 4 and 4 5s are, and then there will be 3 zeros, 1 2 3. 15 into 5 is equal to 75,000 is the answer. Okay, this is how I would have done whenever I found that this is equivalent to this. 60,000 is equivalent to 80%. Then what I'll do, I'll reverse the fraction value. I'll reverse the fraction value and directly do it, which will be equivalent like this, whatever we used to do. So 60,000, okay, and divided by 80 into 100 if I want to do. So 8 will go, and then this will be again 4, and this will be 5, and again you will see that this will become the same thing. 15s are 0, 0, 0. 15,000 into 5 is equal to 75,000. You would have saved some time of writing 80 and 100 here, and I would have done it directly. Is that understood, my dear friend? I think it is pretty clear to you now, right? So we'll see whenever we are finding these kind of percentages which we can convert into fraction, we'll just reverse them and do. Okay, are you getting my point? Yes. So let us go to the next question. Okay, Raghav spends 40% of the amount he received from father. On hostel expenses. So 40% he is spending on what? Hostel expenses. Okay. 20% on books and stationery, and 50% of the remaining, okay, on transport. So it is one level higher now. Same kind of question, but there is a little bit different thing that we need to understand. Okay, fine, that is fine. He saves 450 rupees, which is half the remaining amount after spending on hostel expenses, books and stationery and transport. How much money did he get from his father? Okay, now first we'll try to understand the main important thing. We have to find out what we have to see. What is 100%? 100% is money received from his father, money received from which he is spending from father. Okay, so this is the total amount which we are going to find out. This is the total amount. Actual value, what is given? 450 is given, my dear friend. Okay, what is given? 450 is the actual value. This is the only numerical value or the rupee value that is given. So we have to find out equivalent percentage. Now we have to calculate and try to understand what they are telling, and then we'll be able to find out equivalent percentage. How to find out? I'm going to tell you, right? So this is spent from where? This is spent from amount he received. So out of the total amount, 40% is spent. That is fine. So 40% of the total. Okay, and then he spent another 20% on books and stationery. So he spent another 20% on books and stationery. Okay, now what he says is, and 50% of the remaining. So he's saying 50% of the remaining. So here I have to understand that I have to first find out what is remaining, how much percentage is remaining with him, and out of that 50% he spends on transport. So this is again we need to solve it in a different way. So we'll first find out how much is spent initially for these two things. What is that? Hostel expenses and then books and stationery. Okay, books and stationery. So he spent 60%. So this is expenses or what he has spent. So what is remaining then? We'll try to understand what is remaining. Out of 100%, if he spends 60%, what will remain? 40%. Right or wrong? So he is having 40% of the total amount now. Out of this, 50% has been spent. So what is spent on transport? Transport is what? 50% of remaining. So means what? 50% of 40%. Now 50% of 40% will be equal to how much? Half of 40%. 50%, half of 40%. So it will be what? 20%. Okay, 20% is now spent on what? Transport. That I have found out. Okay, so his total expenses now how much, my dear friend? How much is the total expense? Now total expense is 60 plus 20, 80%. Okay, does that solve my question? I do not know. We'll see what is he saying next. He saves 450, which is half the remaining amount after spending on hostel expenses, books and stationery and transport. So this whatever 450 is there, this is not the saving after total expenses. This is half of the remaining amount. So what is remaining now then? What is remaining then? This is total expenses now. And then again what is remaining after all these expenses? He is left with 20%. But what is 450? 450 is half of 20%. So remaining whatever is there, out of that half, I do not know what he does with that half, other half that is not given here. So you can imagine whatever you want, but he is saving not 20%, not all the remaining amount. He is saving half of 20%. Half of 20% is 10%. So now we get what? We get 10%, which is equivalent to 450 after doing all this circus. Okay, we got this. Okay, so next questions we are going to find out a shortcut for this of a percentage, and half a percentage, and then we'll be able to solve this much faster. Okay, now when I found out that 450 is 10%, now question is simple, very simple. How? See here, I told you when we were talking about fractions, I told if you remove one zero, so 10% is, say for example 55 rupees, and then if I remove one zero, then it will become 5.5. Now I will go reverse. If it is 10% is 55, then what will be 100%? If I add a zero here, I have to add a zero here as well. Are you able to understand that? If I know 10% is 450, to get 100%, I need not have to do 450 divided by 10 into 100. No, my dear friend. What I am going to do is, like here I added a 0 here, I am going to add 4500. That is, add a 0 at the end. 450 is 10%. Did you get my point? 450 is 10%. So 100% is one more 0. Simple. Okay. You be following me every second, every question, and then you will be finding new methods, new shortcuts, and new tricks to solve as fast as possible. Do you agree with me? Right? So let us finish this session with this question, and then in the next session we are going to solve some very interesting questions. So be ready for it. We are going to solve those questions in the next session. Thank you, and join again after revising or understanding everything that we have done in this session.